Everyone from the place, come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I walk down to a happy
Hello everyone, we are doing Clockwork Orange this week for Movie Club's movie 7? 9?
Yeah.
Is it 9?
I think it's 9. It's 9.
I'm getting in my ear that it's 9, so Movie Club episode 9.
Wait a second.
Clockwork Orange? This is Stanley Kubrick 1971 film. It's about things starring... I'm really tired, oh my gosh.
It's about rape.
Pretty much.
It's not about that at all.
It's about rape. It's all rape.
No, it's not about that. We'll get into it. Starring Malcolm McDowell. This is the movie that came out right after 2001. What do you say?
I didn't say anything.
Why did you just give me this look?
What do you say? Oh.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, so this is the movie Kubrick did right after 2001, so I thought it was fitting to do these two movies back to back, just how people got to see them back in the olden days. The good old days. The prime of cinema.
The good old days of cinema.
The golden age, that's what it's called. But
The old cinema.
I'll go last and give you my thoughts, obviously, because mine are pretty clear. So, who wants to go first?
Why'd you choose the movie?
Oh,
Is
okay.
that the reason
Yeah.
why?
I remember watching this the first time, and this is with a lot of Kubrick movies that kind of take maybe multiple viewings or thinking about it a lot before you realize how much you like it or whether you hate it or whatever. But this one, I remember right off the bat, I liked it a lot just for its themes, and it's an entertaining movie, definitely. So that's why I picked it. And it's definitely like with contrast to 2001. 2001 is
Boring.
oh my god! Stop! Oh my god! It's only the third greatest movie ever made. Okay.
But they're having some fellowship. Apparently they get that shit. But it's 2001. Oh no, it's perfect.
Yeah. At least Fellowship didn't have 20 minutes of an ape just doing nothing.
Fellowship had dwarves doing nothing.
But 2001
Elves.
is still.
What were they?
The Eagles.
No, the dwarves are. What is Frodo?
He's a hobbit.
A hobbit. A hobbit's doing nothing.
At least they were talking.
That's the thing.
At least you see the culture.
You were not
It's at least it's.
Yeah, but we don't care.
It's awesome. I do.
That was the most genuine.
Yeah, I know you care, Weston, but you could.
But you're just white trash.
They could make a movie. They could make a movie called Lord of the Rings.
Well, I don't
This is,
care about like nice sayings about like culture and all that. I just.
I care about culture, not about
Hobbit.
not about fake culture. First of all, Hobbit's not real culture; it's fake culture.
It is,
And
but
it's
at
the
least
boringest, and it's the worst characters in Lord of the Rings.
Have you heard of street
about their
culture?
Exactly. You guys like street culture junk like that.
No, hold on.
It's,
But Hobbit culture is not even real. You're defending fake culture.
I know, but it's based off and inspired by a lot of real culture.
Yeah, but it's like the most
From
boring culture.
Hobbits?
Son?
It's not. It's
Is there like some dwarf?
like the Shire is like the most chill place I want to live in.
But what, Sean, Weston?
It's so awesome.
What is hobby culture based on?
A lot of it's like Irish.
Like circuses?
Or-
Like dwarves?
I mean,
English.
I could do without learning about Irish
Like
culture,
very
honestly.
like
Not to be racist or anything,
very
but
old.
Because we don't have enough things on English culture.
that's true. I've never learned about English culture before.
Yeah.
Say Irish as well. And plus, it was filmed in New Zealand, which I really want to go to. So.
That has nothing to do with Hobbit culture, though.
You know, I bet you that there's actually hobbits
Like the
that live
scenery.
in.
Yeah.
Scenery
Dude,
different.
I bet you if there's like a dwarf that lives in New Zealand, he probably gets like a lot.
Oh, I like a whole farming.
But to be fair, Weston, they could
In
release,
like, in like
they could
little,
release a movie
like-
called Lord of the Rings. Literally, this whole movie takes place in the Shire, and nothing, and everything is just the first 30 minutes of Fellowship and nothing else.
That's
And you'd be like,
you
"Oh my
don't-
god,
you
first
don't-
opening day!"
No, you don't. But you don't just want the Shire. That's the thing about Lord of the Rings. It explores so many areas.
They should do a
But they spend
Shire
like 45
spin-off.
minutes at the Shire. It's like boring.
They should do a Shire spin-off.
But okay, why are we talking about Fellowship? Okay, let's talk about.
You don't see me bashing 2001. I could
You did.
5 stars.
Oh, well, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't bash Fellowship.
What?
I never bashed Fellowship.
Hey, well, you guys kind of did.
We all gave it above a 4.
Yeah, we all gave it 4.5.
No. But, I mean, come on. But you get so triggered. Someone gave it 4.5 stars.
Because 2001 is considered one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah,
Not
it's still
Fellowship's
Lord of the
not.
Rings.
Well, I mean,
Just okay.
No,
it's not the same.
It's
It's
true.
not.
So Clockwork Orange.
No, it's not the same. No,
Which is probably
among like actual film critics. Okay,
The Clockwork Orange.
I don't want to be pretentious or anything, but
Well, there's
I'm
a
not-
reason. There's a reason that Lord of the Rings won Best Picture. So
yeah, because that was a really bad
Especially
year.
that's because
It was like Master and Commander was second.
Well, Master and Commander is a pretty good movie too. So
It's, I mean, for really best
great.
picture though, there was like 5 movies that came out last year that were better than Master and Commander.
Okay, A Clockwork
Okay,
Orange.
A Clockwork Orange. You know, this was made by the best director of all time by a pretty decent margin.
Christopher
My
Nolan.
favorite movie... I see, that's the thing. I can't choose a favorite Kubrick movie because it depends on the day which one I like more. But this is definitely, I think, one of his more entertaining movies in terms of just watchability factor. Even though... Okay, before I talk about the movie, you guys go. Or I'll just talk the whole time.
I'll go. I thought it was an interesting concept. I liked watching it. It was entertaining. There was too much nudity.
Yeah. No.
Like,
I think
overbearing.
It's excessive at places where it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Well,
that's part of the reason.
it's part of the movie.
It's part
It's
of
the
the
reason
movie,
why.
I mean, no.
But it doesn't
it's
need
not-
to be
it's
part
not
of the movie.
necessary. Yeah.
See, no, I definitely get what you're saying, and I mean, a lot of people agreed, especially when the movie came out. Like,
Yeah. I mean, 'cause-
but see, I think that's the whether or not you agree with what he was trying to do. That's the point he was trying to make, though, in terms of the hyper violence, or you know, as the movie says, the ultra violent, the good old ultra violence, or
In out.
the in and out, yeah, the in and out.
The weird like
like symbolisms.
No,
Not some, like
symbolism.
Slang?
sayings.
No, it's not just slang. Like just the weird
way
way
they talk.
that it's like that the dialogue happens.
Yeah. I
Well-
It's like one of the best parts of the movie.
Well, the book
Because,
has a lot of that. Like, it's called
Is it something about combining with like Russian?
yeah, it's Russian, English. There's like 3 languages you
Yeah.
combine it with, and the book actually has like a dictionary at the end where all those words, like a lot of those words, we don't even know what they mean, are defined.
No, I've gotten down
The droogs,
the droogies.
Eggy weggies.
the eggy wuggies, yeah, a good
The
old bit.
viddies.
Biddy means what or see?
See,
Sticky
The
wigs.
viddies, my glasses.
The
Sticky wigs. Muck duck.
okay, but let's everyone go real quick. Tell us your thoughts because I do want to talk about the movie. Go, Weston. Go thoughts.
I don't know. I mean, it was just the same thing what Wiley was saying. Like, I really liked the concept of the film, and I really liked the character, too. Main character. What's his name again?
Alex.
Alex. Yeah, that's
yeah, you do
I
kind
really
of
like
like
Alexander
it.
Delarge.
Yeah. Like when he was supposed to be cured, like I'm like, is he just faking it all? Like, is he actually cured? But he but he really was. Like, you know,
Cured.
Cured. You know,
We'll
like
get
he,
to
like
that.
he doesn't
Cured.
like violence anymore, or
Okay.
But it's not that he.
That's
It's
the
not
thing,
that
they
he.
don't go either way with it.
Yeah,
They
but
just
it's not
kinda
that
stay
he
in his
doesn't
head,
like violence
No, he's
anymore.
not completely cured, or no, he's not
Yeah,
faking it.
because it's not that he
It's
doesn't
kinda
like
just
violence
a crazy
anymore.
person who was tortured.
yeah.
Okay.
He's doing
I do want. Okay, so
It's just basically negative assimilation.
Don't.
Like,
Okay, I'm confused about the ending. That's,
all right, no, let's go.
Well, we
Quick
won't.
thoughts. We'll go. We'll get
Daniel
to it. We'll get to
explained
it.
it
Quick
to us.
thoughts.
The ending is when he's like he doesn't have the sick feeling anymore. Like he realizes.
yeah.
Spoilers.
But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts
okay,
on the movie?
I get it.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I mean,
Because wasn't that the Ninth
I like
Symphony playing at the end? I thought, or was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the
Yeah.
ninth.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. But go.
yeah, I just
Oh, okay, you said one sentence. Keep going.
no, okay, yeah, I said I really liked it, and
Why?
my favorite parts were just how like unique and out there it is.
Yeah.
I really liked it as well. I don't think the nudity was overbearing. I think that's part of the reason why it's a great movie.
Well, see, it's overbearing, but that's the point. He's
That's
trying
the
to make
point
you
of it.
uncomfortable. He's not trying to make it like.
But why?
I get that.
That's the whole point of the movie.
Why?
He's trying to make you uncomfortable.
Why? I guess it's a movie that needed to be made.
Oh my gosh, no movie needs to be made.
I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh,
I'm kidding.
I can't. I'm about to. Yeah, you gotta put me away from him.
Yeah.
Kubrick touched a movie; it deserved to be
Chocolate
made.
something.
Okay, good old fashioned ultra violence. Okay,
Ultra violence.
He's about to go ultra violence on you.
I don't even know where to start because you guys brought up a lot of stuff. I think So the way Kubrick made this movie is he presented it almost because a lot of times Alex is not a good person.
No.
the whole movie. He's never a good person, really. But he kind of presents it in an unbiased, like, as a director, you can show your biases through music or, like, how you want people to feel about the character, you know? But he kind of presents it just like these events are happening and you decide what you want to do with them, what you want to think about it, you know? And especially the first third when all the violence is actually happening and all the rape stuff and the murder and everything. It's kind of like everything bad. It's bad stuff that's happening, but it's kind of like glorified, if you know what I mean.
It's like satire.
It's satire, yeah. It's like all the colors are bright. And
well, like when they're
all
raping that girl and they're singing.
And they're all actually having fun, and he's singing in the rain, right? Like, it's kind of the point of the movie. It's like, yeah, it's kind of it's definitely uncomfortable to watch, but some people could say he's kind of glorifying it at the same time, too, you know what I mean? Like, he's not totally demeaning it. Like, the way he's presenting it, it's not presented as just totally evil at the same time. You have to put that on.
It's not presented like the rape in Wind River.
Yeah. Like, Wind River's is, like, really dark, or, like, a lot of movies like that. But this one's presented almost like it's good, and then you can do with it what you want.
Well, deep down, it's still...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm...
Well, not even deep down, just like, you know.
Yeah, it's obviously bad, but the way it's presented, it's like... It's not presented in that dark way.
Yeah.
As most movies would. Yeah.
Well, I think the special thing with this movie is that, like, you know, Alex is like this really... Like, he's not a good person at all. But at the end of the he's a psychopath, but you feel sorry for him with what he's going through and what happens. At least I did.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you that's the main question I think in this movie is, the first half you don't feel sorry for him and you're kind of glad he's finally going to jail for what he's doing. But then, and this is the main morality of this movie and why Kubrick made it in the first place and why the author wrote the book is, so especially during the 70s and late 60s and stuff like that, this whole psychotherapy thing was becoming a big deal, and how people thought you could change a person's behavior, you know, based on, like, and this one is like the Ludwig, whatever, they made up some technique, you know, where he opens his eyes and stuff. Yeah. But they thought you could change a person's behavior, and does that make a person truly good if you just change their behavior and even if they don't take away their choice? And that preacher says it, right, at the beginning. He's like, it's not goodness if it's not free will or something like that. You know what I mean? True. But that's why Kubrick made this movie, because that was a huge deal. Maybe it's not as big a deal now. It might be. I don't know. But back then it was like...
I feel like that's a fear they had. Like, what if you take away everyone's free will? Yeah, it might be perfect, but no one would know.
And like, Kubrick was kind of like paranoid like that with the government thing. It's like, if the government had the opportunity to do that, would they do it? Yeah. You know? Like, to... You know, just for their own sake. Like, see, we brought down crime, but you took away everyone's free will at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And the whole reason they were doing it was to get reelected and stuff like that. Like, it's a really government movie.
It's hard to talk about this movie, like, fast, because there's so many little things going on in it.
But it's done, like, completely different from every other generic, like, government.
Well, yeah, it's just so out there.
It's completely different in the way, like, it doesn't exaggerate bad things, I guess. I mean, it does exaggerate.
It's like the movie exaggerates everything. Generalize. The movie's very
like most dystopian movie would be like, oh, all government is bad, and all the rebels are good, and whatever.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, I see what you're saying. Like, you kind of see the nuance of both sides, because in the movie, and I didn't really get it the first time, but this time I definitely got it more. There is a conservative side and a liberal side in this movie. There's the government side, which is the conservative side of let's suppress all his actual emotions, and he's a good person, but he actually has no choice. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then there's the side with the writer at the very end, where they're like, we can actually use this guy to stop the government, which is what they're doing. Yeah. You know, but like, is that equally bad?
Because they were going to kill him.
Yeah, that's what their whole point was.
And then
right?
blame
like,
the government. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they were going to say, look what the government did to this man. Yeah. He drove himself to madness, and he actually ended up killing himself because of that. And that's probably just as equally as bad, because they're using him for that side's own political gain, right? And there's that whole political side to the movie too.
There's a lot of sides.
Which is not even a major theme, but it's there definitely. But I think the major theme is the stuff with psychotherapy and if you take away someone's free will, is it goodness or is it just robots at that point? Choice, yeah. But you guys want to talk about what are your favorite parts of the movie or least favorite parts?
One of my least favorite parts were like, I'm fine with somewhat nudity, but like just like by the like 10th set of boobs, I was kind of like, this, like, you know, it's kind of getting old.
I mean, it wasn't really sexualized.
That's the thing.
That
though.
it wasn't sexualized, but
it was like unnecessary.
Yeah,
I do think
I
it's
don't think it was
my favorite
unnecessary.
part was towards the end when the old man starts like realizes who he is, and then he has to go through that like tunnel and they're like beating him and stuff, and then he finally thinks he's free and the cops are stopping him, and he looks up and it's the two brothers.
That's one of the things I was like, oh, I really feel bad for him.
What's his name? Dim? I think his name is Dim. But here's a before I forget, I want to say this. You know Julian, the big buff guy who's with him. Mm-hmm. You know that's the guy that wears the Darth Vader suit.
Really?
Yeah, in the original trilogy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Julian.
A little bit of trivia there.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, what you were saying with the cop with with his droogs or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's why I could talk about this movie because there's so many little things Kubrick you could get from it. It's like. I mean, you know how the whole police state debate that's been going on recently. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could say that's kind of his take on it too. Like, look at who the police have actually hired. They actually hired criminals. Yeah. And look at the kind of power they actually have to, and they can get away with it too, right? Because they're cops at that point.
Basically,
and they did the same thing to that old man at the beginning.
Yeah. See, that's the whole thing. Is like the way I see it is that the beginning of the movie. I mean, like the first half is showing all the bad side of like the criminal world, and then there's the flip. When they flip it, they show all the bad side of the government.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is,
and how it's actually.
But see, that's what I like is like, as a viewer, at face level, the first half of the movie seems way worse, right? Yeah. But what he's trying to say basically is like they could be seen as the same. Yeah. Just like one is institutionalized and accepted among society. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I definitely think the movie picks up once he is in prison. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because it is hard to watch a lot of the stuff that's happening in the beginning of the movie. Yeah. And I think that's what he's trying to do. He's just trying to make you uncomfortable with it. But at the same time, because what I find fascinating, when Alex is actually getting tortured with that Ludovico technique, when they're opening his eyes and stuff, it's disturbing to watch. Yeah. It's like really weird, but. Think about it. They're just showing him movies. Yeah. Right? And I think it's kind of saying, like, in certain ways, we've all seen movies like that and we enjoy them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we see movies with violence all the time. We see movies with sex all the time and you enjoy them. Mm-hmm. But they're using those same movies to suppress what he's seeing. Because if you saw it in real life, it would be terrible.
Yeah. Well, it's because of the drug they gave him, though. What? It's because of the drug they gave him.
Yeah, I guess. But they're still showing him the stuff at the same time.
Yeah, but the reason that takes effect is because he goes into deep paralysis that feels like death, and so everything he sees, he relates to that, to the feeling of death.
Yeah, but they're using those pictures. They're using those movies, though. They're still using the same movies.
Mm-hmm. What interests me is when he's in the hospital bed and wakes up from his coma, and there's the nurse talking, and he said, I kept having this strange dream that people were, like, inside my head, like, poking around and stuff. And, like experimenting on my brain. And I was wondering, and he said he kept having that, like, same recurring dream. And I was wondering if it's, like, saying, like, the government was actually experimenting on him.
Well, I got from it. Probably. That's what they're saying. Like,
because the nurse kind of had, like, an uncanny look on her face, like...
But I think that's what reversed his, reversed his effects. Yeah. Because after that point, he doesn't feel sick anymore. When and that's why you can tell how happy he is that he's not getting sick about it. Remember, because she's like, "What do you think?" Fill in the blanks or whatever, and he starts filling them with like violent thoughts or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, and he's getting really happy about it because I like how the first half. That's when he's at his most happiest. He's a sociopath. Oh yeah. He's just a straight up sociopath. Like. He's having fun doing all these bad things, and then when he's actually suppressed in the prison and trying to be a good person, he's never happy while he's doing it, right? Like when he's reading the Bible, he's actually having these thoughts still that he wants to do all these bad stuff.
Oh, he equated himself to a Roman general.
Oh yeah.
Crucifying Christ.
Yeah, that's kind of sociopathic.
Yeah,
I would say, like, I don't think the first part of this movie is like when you said the second part, it definitely picks up. I think it's just the same the entire way. I enjoyed it the same amount the entire way through, because like it was hard to watch the first part of the movie, but I also enjoyed seeing Malcolm McDowell's performance as Alex in the first part. Like it was amazing. His performance.
See, that's why I think this movie hangs a lot on how good he is, because he's kind of charismatic for being such a terrible person. Like, especially in the second half when you actually start to feel kind of sympathetic for him when he's starting to feel sick and everything. Well, every time he tries to have a bad thought, he's starting to feel sick, and his parents kick him out of the house and all that stuff.
And he wants to
like, yeah, it's like I just think like the way he acts, performs it, it's like it's kind of crazy that you actually start to feel sorry for him.
Yeah,
well, I mean, even whenever he's like licking the guy's boot, like he hasn't done anything up to that point to make you feel sorry for him, and you're just like, oh man, this is just like, oh, it's hard. Like you want him to like get up and start beating the guy up whenever he starts slapping him.
Yeah,
and I thought that was really surprising.
Yeah,
because he had done nothing up to that point to gain that.
Yeah,
if anything, you should have been glad he was licking the guy's boot.
Yeah, I like how movies can sway your emotion kind of like that. I think it's the beauty of movies, like especially with like that's why I think the direction's so good. Because if you just describe this movie to someone, you'd be like, "Why would you feel sorry for this guy? Look at all the bad stuff he did." But the way the movie goes, you actually start to you start to feel you start to see him as I saw one description. It's like, this is the worst victim of all time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, because he shouldn't be a victim. He's not a victim,
yeah.
Really. He chose to do that technique. He chose to get out like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how Kubrick's known for his like multiple takes.
Yeah.
You know that scene at the beginning whenever his doctor friend like smacks him in the balls.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how many takes that took.
I actually saw a commentary. I think it was done by accident or something.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, because that would have like
that's what I remember from the commentary.
That would have sucked to have to keep on getting hit.
Yeah, yeah, that's why.
It definitely looked real, and I was like, if that was like a take every time, I would have been so mad.
But the scene, I think, in terms of takes and stuff, is the scene with the two cops and they're holding his head underwater. Mm-hmm. They hold it there for a long time.
Yeah, they do.
People debate, and then apparently there's like a debate whether or not it's like one take or if there's like some cut you can't actually see.
Oh, it is.
But it looks like one take.
It looks like one take.
That's what I thought.
Oh my gosh.
That's like
I thought they were trying to kill him.
That's what I thought.
Like, I thought they were going to kill him.
That's why I respect the performance so much of that main guy. Mm-hmm. Like, apparently, like, if that was one take, that's incredible on its own. But like, he also like his eyes were starting to like bleed and stuff, or like get really bad when they were actually doing those shots like that with the stuff, because he was actually having to do that, and that's a real doctor that's putting the eye drops. That's actually a real doctor that's doing that, so his like eyes don't get too bad.
Just imagine how painful that was for the actor.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine like holding your eyes open right now for more than like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And apparently during like one of the scenes where he's getting beat up, he actually cracked a few ribs or something during the shoot and stuff like that. Yeah, it sounds kind of terrible, but he loves Kubrick.
They probably got paid for it.
Well, Kubrick's well. That, so.
Here's the funny thing, like during post, during the voiceover stuff, like the voice. Yeah, I love how he always calls himself the humble narrator or the stuff like that. Like he's the good. The way he's just talking about it, he's like the good guy in the story. Maybe that's partly why you feel for him.
Yeah.
But like while they were recording all that stuff during the breaks, him and Kubrick would play ping pong.
Oh,
and then that's awesome. It's on. But apparently after Kubrick like actually took out those hours from his paycheck when they were playing ping pong, because like he was that cheap about it. But I respect it.
He took the hours of ping pong.
Yeah, like he would actually like calculate when they were playing ping pong, when they were not and stuff, and he didn't pay him for those hours. Goat. But
how much was he getting paid? They getting paid an hour by the hour.
Yeah, I don't know how that all works, but that's what I read. But
it's weird.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited. I'm going to read the book soon enough because
Well, apparently this is the one they actually stuck closest to. Like he actually, like most of the stuff in the movie is actually from the book. Like he didn't deviate too much from the book.
Yeah, that's what I've read. I mean, the author liked the movie, which is kind of rare for movies like this.
Yeah.
But there is one major thing. So the author of the book, there's the last. I'm going to ask you guys whether you like it or not. So you know how the movie ends with him basically being bad again, right?
Yes.
Because he's turned back.
Mm-hmm.
but the book ends, or there's two editions. The American edition doesn't have the ending, but the British ending ends with Alex actually turning good again. And he has a family. He's grown up and he has a family, and he's actually a normal part of civilization.
Which one do you like better?
I don't know. I like this ending way better.
Yeah,
too.
true.
For me.
But that's cool. It's like, what if it went the other way around?
Yeah.
So, which is really
I
interesting.
don't know.
It's
I
like
think
an
I
alternate
like-
ending kind of thing.
I think I like the movie ending more because it shows that you can't change someone's
Inner
you can't change
nature.
who they are
Who they are.
by just
Because
doing
deep
this
down,
awful
he's
thing.
still
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's
which
why I
is-
kinda like-
it is
yeah.
better.
I like how, because he's a sociopath the whole way.
Oh yeah.
Like his friends are bad. Like they're obviously terrible people, but they're almost followers. Like they're following what he does, right? He's just thinking of all of these things on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a few things, like from the book. The book apparently I'm reading right now. He's like 15. He was 15 years old or something like that. And in this movie, he's supposed to be 17
Yeah.
or 18.
Well,
But
he's still in school.
yeah, that's it. Let me ask you this. So the first time I watched, I was surprised that he was still in school.
I was too.
I thought he was like in his late 20s.
I thought it was at least.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was at least out on his own. I didn't
Exactly.
think
And
it
then
was
when they
his fault.
show like he lives
I
with his
knew
parents,
he'd be like 20 years old, or.
but when they
maybe
show him
even
living with his parents, I'm like, oh, he's actually
Well,
pretty
first
young.
when I saw him wake up, I thought it was like a dream sequence. The first part.
With the
you
milk
see
bar
him-
thing.
When you see him wake up for the first time in his house and his mom is like, "You're going to be late for school," I thought that was a dream sequence.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't think that like that. I mean, I could see why you'd think that.
Maybe.
Because I remember Wiley turned towards me. He's like, "Are we ever going to explain what's actually happening?"
Yeah.
Because the setting's so weird and it's like
Yeah.
out of
It's a weird
place.
setting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Let me ask you this too. I have another question. So basically, the movie starts with them at the milk bar, right? And it's like a weird setting. But then the next scene is with the fellow Droogs, with the Billy, the whatever, that Billy guy,
Yeah.
and they're trying to rape that one girl, and then the Droogs are there to stop him.
Yeah.
Did you see him almost like heroically, right? Because they kind of saved that girl's life. Or
Yeah.
they saved her.
Like, I really like that scene.
They didn't save her life. She died. Wait, what? Oh, you. Oh,
In the
okay. I
beginning.
thought you were
When they're
talking
on the
about
abandoned
Yeah, I
stage
thought
and
you were
stuff.
talking about the Alex
No,
killing the girl.
No, when they're
And his
abandoned on the
groups.
stage.
Yeah,
When-
yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
in the
Yeah,
beginning.
you did.
Yeah, they were definitely.
Because see, I remember the first
heroes,
time I watched, I was
guess.
like, maybe they're actually not that bad because they're actually
Yeah.
saving.
That's what I kind of thought, too.
But then,
They
but
really didn't care.
yeah, later on in the movie, like after,
Later on, yeah.
definitely during the next scene when they actually end up raping that woman,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, they didn't care about that girl at all. They just wanted to fight.
Yeah.
But that fight scene is kind of funny with the
Yeah.
music playing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
It was a good
Well, the
scene.
music in this is great. I love
Oh
the
yeah,
music.
definitely.
the knife.
That's
True.
great. Yeah, that was good too.
Ludwig von.
I like how they use that against him too, because you kind of see the torture side of the government too when they're like, this is the only good thing he actually likes that's actually good, and they're still
Well,
gonna
that
take
guy in
that
the
away from
wheelchair,
him.
oh my gosh, his face is like...
When he's staring
it's
at it.
hilarious, but it's so freaking like...
Well, I was saying when he realizes
he's
that
like stared directly into that
Yeah.
into Alex's soul. Like, seriously.
Oh, the guy in the
He's
wheel-
like,
that's why
the whole time.
that's why, especially during that scene, it's like it's way over the top. It's like
It is over the top.
it's- when he
It's
realizes
so
when
good.
he
like-
hears the when he hears the singing in the rain thing. Yeah, that was actually really good.
Do it.
Yeah, do it again. That was really good.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
No, look up your eye. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That was actually really good. I'm surprised.
Like, overacted, but it was so good.
But I think it works. I think it
Yeah,
works
it works. Like, it was
because the
funny,
movie's
but
kind of
it's-
over the top in general.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it definitely is, but that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's what I think is the whole point. And apparently, the author in the book is made clear, but the book he's writing is actually called The Clockwork Orange. That's why it's kind of like a circle. But yeah,
Want to go ahead and rate it?
yeah, we can go ahead and
Yeah,
rate
let's
it.
do it. All right. Let's see. To rate.
Danny starts.
Danny, you want to start?
No, I don't want to start.
Well,
I have
It's
to go.
always
start.
the person
Nah, I'm
that
going
it's
last.
always the person that does it. That
No, it's not.
starts.
I didn't
Yeah,
rate it
it
first
is.
last time.
Yeah, you did.
I'll go last. Oh,
Richard.
your thoughts?
Let's say 5.
That's it?
What?
Not the masterpiece seal? No, I'm kidding. All right, Weston, go.
You're gonna kill me for this. I get it 4.5.
It was definitely lower.
I mean, you know why? Like, I think technically it's 5 stars, but personally, I give it 4.5.
That's fine. I'm not gonna get mad.
I'm also gonna give it a 4.5. But I do think I need to. But I think if I watch it again, just like with Fellowship, I would probably give it a 5.
That's what I was
I don't think that's one of these movies, though.
Yeah,
I think
like
it
with
is.
Space
I
Odyssey.
think nearly.
Space Odyssey is
But
that.
even
I don't
then,
know.
I get that.
But
far.
Kubrick, even there's so many sides to it. I think you do.
There's more interpretation. Yeah, there's definitely more interpretations you get the more times you can watch it. But I don't know. I just think it's entertaining enough on its first viewing. Like 2001, I get. 2001, I get because the first time you're kind of just like, there's really no other movie like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first time you watch it, like, well, just what is this?
Yeah.
And that one I get, but this one I feel like it's just enjoyable enough. But 4.5, I'm not mad about it. So
Blake?
I think I'll give it a 5 if I watch it again.
I usually don't give movies 5 on first watch, but this one I am.
I feel like you're doing a lot of movies. 5 on the
I haven't
first
given
watch.
a lot of movies 5 on first watch.
I feel
This is
like
only my second Kubrick movie I've given a 5, so
you've seen like 3 of them.
I've seen 10.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
Which ones have you seen that you didn't give a 5?
4.5.
The Shining I didn't give a 5. 2001 I didn't give a 5.
Okay, that's wrong.
The Killing I didn't give a 5, obviously. What was this other big one? I'm forgetting one.
Spartacus?
I haven't watched Spartacus yet.
Paths of Glory?
I gave Paths of Glory a 5. It was the best movie. You still need to watch that, Weston. You'd like that movie a lot.
One movie?
Paths of Glory.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it'll be recommended one day.
All right. What about you?
I'm giving it a
I'll
5,
see it
obviously.
Gladiator.
Well, our Dumb People vs. Movies official rate for a Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange is a 4.8 out of 5, which I agree with. So,
What's my favorite scene?
What is?
Yeah, what is my favorite scene?
Oh,
Oh, what is your favorite scene?
The Clockwork Orange.
I don't know. There's
What's
actually
your
a lot of
favorite
good
scene?
scenes.
What's yours?
I don't know. I really like the hospital sequence.
At the
Like
very end?
that, like that entire sequence. I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really good. Because you see us turn back to bad and basically
Yeah.
being all
And
bad.
the ending too. I really like.
I think that's a good one. That's a good point.
Like there's actually a lot of good scenes throughout this film.
Yeah, it's hard for me. I think I like the prison stuff too because it's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The general just like way over the top that he yells all the time. He's like,
Yeah.
Gerald.
yeah.
I love that guy.
all right.
Yeah, he's
Well,
funny.
We want to
Alright.
go to the next.
Close those off.
movie
Oh yeah,
club
we got to
movie.
choose the next movie.
It's between the three of you, Danny, and I are out.
Hold on, let me go to random number generator.
Richie 1, Blake 2.
Do you guys all have a movie?
Weston 3.
I think so.
All right, Richie is 1, Blake
No,
is
hold on,
2,
let me-
Danny is 3. Sorry, Weston is 3.
Yeah, I'm not.
All right, ready?
Yep,
It's Blake.
it's Blake.
Blade Runner, the final cut.
Sweet.
All right,
Make sure it's the final cut because
Yeah.
that's the
Do
one
you
I
have the final
That's
cut?
the one
Oh,
I have,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen all the other
I actually
cuts
don't even know
too,
which
but
cut I watched the first time, so I'm kind of excited.
You've probably you probably watched the final cut. Did it have a unicorn?
If it's your favorite
I don't
film,
remember.
then I'm excited for it. So,
okay.
I wanna see
I'm
see it
scared
for
because I
myself.
don't think Wiley. I don't know how much you guys are gonna like it for
Why?
a first watch.
I think I might like it.
Because people can say it's boring too. I don't think it's boring, but people can say that.
Isn't there like cars in it and stuff?
No.
Well, there's a flying car in it.
It's
so-
going to be like
Yeah, there
why
you
I
go.
think The Fellowship's my favorite film. So
It's like the opposite of Fellowship, though.
It's actually
No.
good.
No, but for him, like he said, there's like he thinks people might say it's boring.
Wait, The Fellowship is your favorite?
Yeah.
More than Return?
Yeah. Well,
He said
it's so
that.
close.
I'm
It's
just
so
kidding. I'm just
close.
kidding. I know.
Like,
All right.
sometimes I even
Well,
switch between.
Okay, well, thank you guys for listening to this to the 9th Movie Club movie. If you want to,
We're about to do the best movie ever on Movie Club next week. So
if you want to follow us on any of our
don't
social
even
media, you
think
can at Dumb
I
People
do.
versus Movies.
It's
Twitter
fine.
is Dumb PPL.
Your favorite and best is different.
versus movies. YouTube,
You
we
can't
start
think of
posting our videos on YouTube, which is cool.
best movie ever
so
made,
now you
right?
can see our beautiful faces. If you want to email us,
Ridley
you can at
Scott wouldn't even say
dumbpeopleversusmovies at gmail.com.
he would.
Go ahead and rate us on iTunes too. That would be awesome. Don't forget to watch Blake's pick for next week, Blade Runner, and to be looking on YouTube to see who has to watch. I forgot the name of the next movie bets.
In something.
The In Crowd.
The in crowd.
The In Crowd.
Good old bit of the ultraviolence. Wait, what is...
And
what's
have a
ultraviolence?
good...
Ultraviolence.
Video this video.
Video.
That's
Give us a
the
video on the like
way
videos.
good.
Hey.
video.
Wow, ultraviolet.